Are you the kind of person who naturally gravitates towards things that are more subtle, more nuanced, more sophisticated, more intellectual? And in your own work, do you also strive to achieve these qualities? These are good qualities to have, right? Surely everyone would want their work to be sophisticated and intellectual. Why wouldn't you want your work to have these qualities, right? Especially if you feel that they reflect a part of your personality. Well, let me ask you a question then. Has it been easy to find an audience for your work? What kind of people do you think would be interested in the output of your creative efforts? If your work is sophisticated and intellectual, then your ideal audience would be found among people who value these qualities. What fraction of the world's population do you think consists of people who value these qualities above other desirable qualities? And what fraction value them so much that they are always willing to exert the extra cognitive effort that kind of material would require? We have a tendency to overestimate how many of the people around us share our unique set of values and preferences. In fact, that percentage may be much lower than we think. If your work has not yet found its audience, then out of the first 100 people who see it, or hear it, or read it, how many do you think will be the kind of people who value subtlety, nuance, and sophistication above everything else? Probably not as many as the number of people who prefer simplicity, clarity, and oomph. What this means is that work that is more intellectual is at a disadvantage from the start. In order to attract a more or less sizable audience, it would need to be seen, heard, or read by many more people compared to the kind of work that has broader appeal. Finding an audience for something sophisticated and subtle is an uphill struggle. And on top of all that, various content recommendation algorithms make things worse because content that already has a larger audience gets recommended to even more people, leading to an exponential rich get richer phenomenon, widening even further the gap between the haves and the have-nots, between the popular and the obscure. So what can you do? Should you abandon all subtlety, nuance, and sophistication, and instead embrace crowd-pleasing qualities that have wider mass appeal? I don't think you should. That would be a kind of surrender to the forces of the marketplace, sacrificing things that matter to you for the sake of popularity. So then, what else can you do? I don't have a definitive answer, to be honest, but I do have an idea. What you can do is, in addition to the more highbrow work that you might normally prefer, try to branch out into something more lowbrow, or midbrow at least. Something more accessible to a broader audience. Not instead of, but in addition to. You could have some crowd pleasers alongside your more esoteric output. What do you think? Please let me know.